A dog in Maple Heights is still recovering after police shot it late last month. News 5's Jeff Coolidge talked to the police chief about the incident and why he says it's upsetting, but that officer is not at fault.
The Maple Heights police chief told me that his officer did nothing wrong when he shot that one-year-old Pitbull, Chino. He called it an unfortunate circumstance, but he's glad that the dog survived. This body cam video released by Maple Heights Police last week begins with the officer knocking on the door of Marquita Watford, the owner of Chino, who would eventually be shot by the officer. After several surgeries, Chino went home earlier this week.
We don't like shooting dogs.
Maple Heights Police Chief Todd Hansen sat down with News 5 and defended his officer's actions that day, saying he followed department policy by the book.
The neighbor talked to them, got evidence that the dog had been out of his yard and was in the neighbor's yard, causing a problem and being aggressive.
Chief Hansen explained, and as you can see on the body cam video, the officer knocked on the door several times.
There was 2 adults in that house. No one came to the door for well over 2 minutes.
The body cam shows the officer walk around the side of the home and down the driveway to the back. The officer then pauses for a few seconds. The chief told me his officer looked around to make sure the dog is not in the backyard, still running around.
And while he's standing there surveying what's going on, the dog comes out the open back door of the house.
The chief told me his officer was stuck between 2 cars on an icy surface, and he freezes to let the dog calm down.
So he just kind of tried to stop, put the dog at ease, and then the dog starts to do one of these posturing moves, which is when the officer then draws his weapon, and during that he calls out to the owner, "Hey, come get that dog!" And unfortunately, that's when the dog rushes down the stairs and the action takes place.
But the video never shows Chino get shot, as the officer appears to cover the camera as he fires his weapon. Chief Hansen told me the officer was not trying to cover anything up.
The body camera's in the center, which is where we generally like it to be, because that usually captures the best picture for most circumstances that the officers find themselves in.
The chief showed us the placement of the officer's microphone, which is just left of the camera, and explains that it's protocol to radio in when there's use of force.
You have to use your weapon, that you immediately report that so that the supervisor on duty and others know that gunshots have gone off. So he immediately reached over to key his mic up with his hand while his gun was out. When you watch the video, if you look at it, it's not his hand covering it. You can see that it's his wrist.
Chino's owner was cited by police. They tell us dog owners are responsible for keeping their pets safe by keeping them from running loose. Watford did not return our calls, but last week, Chino's owners told us he's not an aggressive dog.
They're supposed to use other precautions before it even gets to having to fire off a firearm, anything that can be non-lethal. But the fact that he shot the gun off 3 times shooting at the dog doesn't tell me that he was trying to protect himself.
The Maple Heights Police Department didn't have any non-lethal weapons, but they will soon be getting tasers. The chief says it's not because of this case, though. In Maple Heights, I'm News 5's Jeff Coolidge.